And we're back. Let's go. Wednesday, as my camera adjusts to the light somehow. Welcome to NFL Prop Picks, powered by the Blitz. There's Evan. You can set your watch to Evan. It's Carty o'clock. It is. Baseball stuff's heating up, though. I know we're talking football. Any big park changes, as I think, looking into?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few this year. The Orioles realized that they've moved their fences back too far, so they're going to move them in. And then the A's are playing in a new park, and the Rays, because of the hurricane, are going to be playing in a new park this year. So there's definitely some stuff to keep an eye on.
Awesome. Week 15. Wild that Week 15 is here. Getting into the holiday months. Thursday night football. Two teams who put up 82 points last week. Insane. San Francisco, 3-point favorite. Total sitting at 49.5. We'll get to the second play. Looking at usage, and I'll get to it when we get there, but 29 carries for Kyren Williams last week on the short week. I know when we look at it, we'll mention it a bit, but that is a big workload. We saw, I believe it was Josh Jacobs getting a heavy workload on a Sunday and then going to a Thursday, and there's a lot of talk about how much usage you want to get out of your number one running back. But first, I need you freeloaders out there. Actually, that's my hockey chat. But you guys who've always been there, just hit that like button. Goes a long way for us. We're going to start off with it. We have a couple plays. One's strong, one's borderline, but Derek's calling it a play. We're at 3.65 on the first one. And when I had to do the quick box score check for what this person actually does on the ground, I had to double check the odds because it's implying about a 50% play here, but it doesn't make any sense. All right, let's go. Rushing yards. Matthew Stafford, under 0.5 rushing yards, minus 110. Stafford, under 0.5 rushing yards, minus 110. It's not a thing I usually say. That's why it's coming out of my mouth funny. But he has one carry of 15 yards, which is just like his only like positive carry. And then he has 17 carries for 11 yards on the season.
Yeah, he's gone over this number in 2 games all year.
Yes, 2 games of positive rushing, yes.
Which makes sense because he's Matthew Stafford and he can't move and he doesn't get designed runs and he barely scrambles. This is not just a play for this game. Like, this is probably the best bet we're going to see all week. I bet this one last week too. I got it at minus 105. It's free. I don't get it. Like, there's a chance he's going to scramble and get a couple of yards. But the odds are certainly not 50-50. So this is just, this is really good. Someone's saying the odds at other books aren't as good, but I mean, anything is fine here. You know, there's minus 120s out there. I think there's minus 130s out there. They're all great value right here because the chance of him actually doing this is so low. The Blitz says he has a 15% chance of rushing for a yard. So this is just 85. I don't understand. I don't understand this line. I don't understand why they put it out last week. I don't understand why they kept it the same this week. Hopefully they keep doing it the rest of the year because this is my favorite play that we'll probably have all week of any game.
How far would you take this?
I told you the break even's 85% according to the Blitz, which which the equivalent line of that is minus 558. So I'd probably
good to minus 500. That's crazy.
I wouldn't take it that far, but I bet you're not going to have to.
Just trying to look up this rush attempt market. Okay, not seeing anything over at DraftKings. Let me know what your guys looking at in the chat, where your numbers are, where the book is, if that market is open, and we'll go off it. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of yeses, but I know some people are not willing probably to lay minus 160. All right, minus 120 at end take. There you go. Yeah. I know the QB rushing props have been like, over by 1, under by 1. We did get the Cooper Rush, which was happy to get that at 1.5. I mean, we hit the plus money on the 2.5 on the Thanksgiving week, but got the 1.5 last week.
He got the second carry, like with, I don't know, almost no time left in the game, I think.
Oh, yeah. It was after I went to sleep. Yes.
I went to sleep too. There was a couple minutes left, and I'm like, all right, this isn't winning. And then it did. That was nice.
Yahtzee saying same at Hard Rock. Okay, so nothing crazy out there. So it's not like
no, it's not like you're getting minus 200 out there.
Caesars. That's our brand.
I mean, minus 137. If that's the only line you have access to, that's fine too. Again, the theoretical break even is minus 558. So you're good to bet this.
Abel saying he tripped and fell and barely over the line.
Yeah, it's
take it. 1.5.
Take it. I'll take it. Yeah, it's gonna suck if he does scramble and San Francisco does blitz a good amount, which is a little scary, but it's Matthew Stafford. He does this so infrequently that you take the value and you hope that it does what it's supposed to.
Like I said, one carry of 15 yards for his big one. And then I think the other game he went over, he had like 4 on 3 carries or something.
Something like that, yeah.
But like I'm sure it wasn't like in the first quarter he scrambled for 15 yards. I'm sure if I went to it and I had to bet on where that game situation was for 15 yards, probably 3rd and 25 or something. Yeah. Somewhere.
And there were probably a couple knees mixed in there to get the 4 rushing, which 10P kids, and Yahtzee are both pointing out here. They're small underdogs here. So the kneel down equity isn't high, but it's certainly there where if he does scramble for a yard or 2 yards, we're still live. And he's banged up. So we're, this one looks good.
I don't know if there's anybody tougher in the league than Matthew Stafford and Justin Herbert. Honestly, those two guys cannot come off the field. We stayed the same book. We're calling it a play too. Rush attempts. The 18.5 minus 130. Let's go. Kyren Williams under 18.5 carries minus 130. That's a play. Kyren Williams under 18.5 carries minus 130. Let us know where you're seeing it, the price and what you're seeing it. Blake Corum did take 8 carries last week. 2 games ago, he had a 33% backfield share. And as I alluded to at the beginning of the show, Kyren Williams coming off a heavy 29 carry workload. How much of that is priced into where your projections are?
It's definitely part of it. And we've certainly seen before, like you said, with Josh Jacobs, where, it doesn't always mean anything.
It doesn't always, but like it's a talking point, at least within the coach
for
speak.
Sure. And it should matter for some guys. Like even Matt LaFleur after the game that Jacobs did, he's like, I think Jacobs is the only back in the league that could do that, on such short rest. Kyren Williams is not the same physical type of back that Josh Jacobs is. And I think this Blake Corum stuff is kind of for real, especially on a short week. I think we're going to see him because the last 2 weeks, Corum has worked in. He's gotten a good amount of carries both weeks, about 20% of the designed runs combined. And they've kind of McVay has come out and said kind of after both games, and especially after this last one, that like this is by design. It's to take some of the load off of Kyren Williams. They're coming down the stretch now, which feeds even more into it's a short week. If the point of Blake Corum is to take the load off of Kyren Williams, you would think there's an even bigger chance that he sees a bigger role in this game. So I think this one looks pretty good. Someone asked about the 17.5 at even money or the 18.5 here. It's very close. I was debating which one to take, honestly. The 17.5 even money, I think, is pretty much the same as this 18.5 minus 130. If these 18.5 books flip and you get 17.5 plus money, I would prefer that to anything we have on the board right now.
Great to see. I mean, what are we talking about here with Corum? They couldn't really go to they couldn't rest Kyren Williams in that game versus Buffalo when it just was so back and forth that kind of any plan that they wanted to was probably thrown out the window. So I would assume it kind of goes back to more, like I said, 33% backfield share 2 weeks ago. And I think the game script last week kind of got away from Sean McVay and probably what he wanted to do. Probably doesn't want his running back 29 carries and some work. He ran a lot of routes too. He ran a lot more routes than Blake Corum, especially down the stretch with the Rams looking to make a playoff push and looking really good, knocking off the Bills last week, 6-2 since the bye. Two plays.
And worth noting, I mean, they're playing San Francisco, who plays at a really slow pace. So just total play volume in general will probably be down a little bit here.
I was going to ask you, I didn't want to put you on the spot, but is this a kind of a good game maybe for under bettors just to kind of get on this 49.5 with recency bias for what we saw from both of these offenses last week? Just on a play volume, like not maybe not on an actual total, but you're projecting a slow pace, low volume game.
Yeah, I mean, any game the Niners playing is going to be slower paced than an average game, especially for the other team, because the Niners are going to try to chew up the clock. So yeah, I think so.
All right, like it. Thursday night football, big one, week 15 kicking. Wonder if San Francisco was a great spot versus Chicago last week, and it's one of the bets that I'm going to look at the end of the season and be angry that I didn't take. Right? Like Thomas Brown was a passing coordinator 3 weeks ago. I keep saying this. Like to go from that to play calling and head coaching, like I just keep shouting at the moon. Like it's difficult. Like play calling, okay, there's your job, play calling, but managing a game, timeouts, referees, and then still calling plays, very difficult thing to do. We saw the offense last week absolutely fall apart, but I wonder if San Francisco can put a couple together because it hasn't looked good. And more injuries to the running back. So it's absolutely just piling up on their side. 2 plays Thursday night. Follow the Covers account on X. Maybe we'll have some releases because there's bodies coming in and out, but that's what we got for Thursday night football here Wednesday on NFL Prop Picks powered by the Blitz. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. We'll see you back here Friday. Sunday night football and then another double dose, but not a great dose, but maybe quantity is better than quality on Monday night because we got 2 games for week 15. We'll leave it at that. Thanks, guys. Hit that like button on your way out.